You are now tuned in to Mastering Mitzvahs. Mastering Mitzvahs. A podcast focused on creating the perfect bar and bat mitzvah celebration, offering tips, tricks, and trends to ensure an amazing event. Mastering Mitzvahs. From New Jersey's own Explosive Entertainment. Explosive Entertainment.
I know you're gonna dig this.
And here they are, your hosts, Dylan Weissman and Mike Langser.
Morning, happy Monday, Dylan.
Yeah, man.
Come on, that's not the excitement I was looking for. Let's try this again. Let's roll this again. Good morning, happy Monday, Dylan.
Happy Monday, Mike. How are you?
Gosh, I'm so much better than you. Apparently, I'm like glad to be alive. I'm happy. I was out skiing with my daughter this weekend. I'm not grumpy. You know, you always call me grumpy.
I'm not grumpy. Stop it. I'm not grumpy. I'm tired, man. I'm tired. I just got back from a speaking engagement in Columbus, teaching a team out there about some of the cool stuff that we do and the approach that we have. So it was nice to feel like, we got a good thing going here because other companies are taking notice and notes about it, and they're asking to fly us out and be a part of it. So that's pretty cool.
Good. See, now there's some positivity and happiness in your vibe. I like it.
Do you know the story about how Will Ferrell is a very solemn individual, but you would never have guessed it?
He's like I haven't heard that specifically about him, but other actors and comedians especially.
Yeah, like Jim Carrey also endorses this. Like, he's like, listen, man, when I'm not on stage, when I'm not on, I'm like a regular, even dude. Like, I'm not always going to be like slapstick comedy ready to roll. So maybe that's me. Maybe like you guys get, the 300% of me when we're out on events. But right now, man, I'm just chilling.
All right. Well, happy Monday anyhow, Dylan. So we have a topic today that I'm very interested to see which direction this conversation goes in. For those who don't know, there's dozens and dozens of Facebook groups for bar and bat mitzvah planning. And about 2 weeks ago on the New Jersey planning, or I think it's called the New Jersey. Let me close the screen. I'll give you the exact answer. The New Jersey Bar and Bat Mitzvah Planner Group. A mom posted a question that really got me, man. They're like some of them I kind of laugh off. Some of them I might provide some advice, skip over, but this one really got me. I'm just going to read it out loud. It was from an anonymous poster. So I shouldn't even say it was a mom. It could have been a dad that wrote it. But it says, we have a DJ, but the dancers he normally uses are already booked for our date in May. Any suggestions on where I could find a pair of motivational dancers that can freelance and work independently? And man, when I saw this, Dylan, instantly, I had to respond. And my immediate response is, I hate to say it, but that's a bit alarming. A DJ should be able to provide his or her own dancers. And there's something to be said about the synergy of a team that's working together. Good luck. And then that just spewed a whole ton of other people commenting. Some giving advice, some backing my suggestion or my comment. But what are your initial thoughts on that, Dylan?
My initial thoughts is I feel for this family because it's probably coming up. I'm very sad for them because obviously they had a vision that's now not being able to be upheld. And it's kind of one of those things where it's like, it makes you think, did you vet the right vendor ahead of time? And that seems to be like a common theme for us always is vetting the vendors that are going to bring to life the right fit. And even if they are more expensive than someone else, do they give you the sense of, I'm going to come through for you? And if the answer is yes, then you gotta kind of know that you're hiring the right people here. Then my reaction.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, then my reaction after that is, what can we do something? I want to help. That's my gut reaction. Is can we help? Do we have dancers available that we can get out there and do it right? And I know that the answer to that is probably we do. But then it's do these dancers independently are very, very good, but they kind of work in an explosive system where we've trained them up. They've worked with our MCs. They know what's expected of them. And they work inside a system. It's kind of like, you can have a great line cook at a restaurant, But the minute you take them out of the restaurant that they're in and plug them in somewhere else, they have the raw skills to be a great line cook, but it might be a little rocky because it's a different system. That's the way I
They
kind of
don't
see
know
it.
the recipe. Right. That's a great analogy. So when I read this post, my brain went in different directions. First off, did this client say to the DJ from the very beginning, I don't need dancers, I just need a DJ? And if that's the case, the DJ said, probably responded back, sure, I could DJ your party. I don't have dancers, or I don't have dancers available, whatever the case was. And the client probably thought they made a wise decision, based on what they knew about their party at that time. And I think that's a big piece of it. Now, if this DJ misled them and said, sure, I have dancers, and then actually falls short, that's a whole different problem. I think that there's, really an issue there. But, very often you're planning these parties when your kid is 9, 10, 11 years old, and you don't really know what it is that you need until several months before. This post was made in February for a party taking place in May. Now, May also happens to be the busiest time of the year. So I had the same reaction as you, Dylan, saying maybe we can be heroes and save the day. But I don't know if we have staff available in May this far in advance, even though it's only 3 months away. Like, we know certain dates in May are more or less blacked out where we're not taking any more events.
That's great. And
We
I think
also
I think
have on busy weekends in case somebody gets sick or there's an emergency. So it's
yeah.
hard for us to just offset our dancers for another DJ. Because I'm with you. I want to help this family out. I feel bad too.
Well, it kind of brings us to today's episode here, episode 133, inclusive vendors versus a bunch of different vendors is the way that I kind of view this idea. And let me try to set the scene here, Mike. You are into this planning process. You're excited about this planning process, and you start building a budget, and then you start looking out for different aspects of the event. Now, from my experience, and I think you could agree with this, that the less vendors you have, the less likely there will be miscommunications or misfires. But also, the less vendors you have, the either the less flexibility they're going to have because they have a specific service that they offer, or the more expensive they're going to be because they are one vendor that offers a lot of services really, really well. And with that, they're going to be more expensive. Now, if you hire a bunch of different vendors, you can probably save some dollars because you hire not a full-on decorator, but just a florist, or you hire just a photographer that is a one-person studio as opposed to a huge studio that has multiple shooters. So and then in the DJ world, it's like, do you have a group that can only do the DJing work, or do you have a group that can do MCing and dancer motivators and staging and lighting and all of these other things? So as you separate the vendors, you might find that each of them are a little bit less expensive, but they're also limited in that capacity. So I think that you need to now decide, do I want to have a few vendors who do a lot of really good things, or do I want to have a plethora of different vendors, in which case now I really need to organize the communication lines? Mike, what are your thoughts?
Well, a good example of this is, photo booths. You can go out and hire a third-party photo booth company, or you could trust your DJ to do the photo booth service for you. And that is a very common add-on that falls under the DJ's category. So you hit the nail on the head. Should the family find another vendor that specializes in photo booths and probably does a nice job, hopefully does a nice job. But then again, you don't even know what you're vetting. Maybe that's it. As you were talking, Dylan, this all just boils down in my mind is like screaming, like big flashing lights, hire a planner, hire a planner. And if you have a event planner in your back pocket that knows the right vendors, all that vetting is done for you. And that planner has done that over the course of years of mishaps and wins. They've seen it, and you don't want to be one of those mishaps. So trust a vendor or trust a planner to deliver you the right direction.
Yeah, so when you have a planner, they will take the lines of communication away from you in a way that will make it easy for you to just give the information that's needed for a successful event. Even the type A personalities who like to have their hands really, really deep in this thing, will find success with a planner, because it'll give them only the information that they need to make great decisions. If not, let's use your photo booth example as a scenario, right? A very, very likely scenario. You're going to have to talk to your DJ a couple times before your event about expectations and your wants and needs for your child. And then typically in that time, you could also vet your photo booth. You could also talk a little bit about like what you want your photo booth to look like, act like, print out. It's one conversation. If you hire a different company to do your photo booth, now you have to have a separate conversation with them, or at least separate emails to set expectations and to, go over what you want the print to look like and the backdrop to look like. And your efficiency goes down, even though it might be a little bit less expensive that way. So now you got to weigh what is more important to you, the time and the headache, or the couple $100s that you save by, by going with different vendors.
Right. I want to bounce back to this dancer situation here, because I'm reading the comments and I want to share out loud some of the advice that was given from, I'll call it the peanut gallery in this case, because the people that are commenting range the gamuts from other respected DJs, respected planners, through other families that are on this chat group. There's 3,700 families that are members of this chat group. And the comments run everywhere from DJs, on our level that said, we'd love to help, but, May is a busy time. It's a little hard to give up staff this far in advance. Through somebody made a comment and said, call some local dance studios. Maybe they could help. Another one said, let me know where and when the party is. My daughter freelances for multiple DJs, and maybe she could, come and be hired directly from you. And then Dylan, there's another one here that is a woman. I haven't heard of her, but she says that she runs a talent agency and provides dancers to multiple companies. And I wanted to stop there. And what do you think of that? And I think it's probably the best solution of what I've read so far. But what do you think of that?
It's definitely the best solution. I mean, I know at least one very respected talent agency that does this well, Mike, that hires for event companies that don't offer their own in-house talent. But you have to realize that you're going to get more of a generic product, because when they train their talent, they're going to train them in a very generic way where it's going to be like, this is what makes an overall good party. And now you need to be ready to do that for anyone that hires us, whether it's wild and crazy, kids who want a lot of games, really rambunctious boys, really snooty girls, like whatever it may be. You need to be ready with a very generic product. There's not a custom vetted solution for you, where when you hire a firm that you're going to be working with ahead of time, you're probably going to be able to express some of these aspects of your crowd, and then your entertainment company is going to assign a talent team that's going to be a lot closer to that custom solution you're looking for. On top of that, it adds another this is what I'm thinking. On top of that, it adds another layer of vendor relationships that have to be developed on the spot. So now you have an entertainment company like a DJ or an MC or a DJ that is MCing, and they have to work with someone they've never worked with before to come up with a great product. Now, I think it will be fine, especially if it's a professional, talent organization that does this often and does it well. But it is a little bit nerve-wracking to me to know that these people will meet for the very first time at my event.
We're talking a lot about hypothetical situations here because we don't know who these people are. But, I'm reading this and I'm wondering, they might benefit because it could be that this dancer actually knows more than the DJ. If there's a company out there like, one that you refer to that specializes in bar and bat mitzvah dancers, well, then we have to assume that their staff knows bar and bat mitzvahs, maybe more so than the DJ that accepted the job that may or may not know bar and bat mitzvahs.
Yeah, it could be a secret win. It could be a secret win, but I don't think I would gamble my event on it.
No. So yeah, there's a lot of sympathy in this thread here of how you, I, and others feel for this family, but it was really eye-opening, and there's there's so many great comments in this. This is one of the things, like social media is like a love-hate relationship, like it's a time suck by all means, but what's so cool about social media is you could go to a forum like this with a question and get genuine, honest answers from all different walks of life. And the hardest part is navigating through it and figuring out what the true answers might be, or what the best answer for your case is.
It's
But it,
really, really hard. It's really hard. And
Mhm.
like, I have to keep my mouth shut on a lot of the Facebook pages that I'm on because, like, so for example, I'm the direct admin of the largest Philadelphia based mitzvah consulting group for parents. It's called Mainline Mitzvahs. And I'm an admin, but I'm also a professional. And I have to see some of these posts. And what I'm hearing, what I'm seeing is that while you want the opinions of parents like you, they all have their own motives where they've done it once, twice, maybe three times if they have three kids. But you know who's done it more than them? The vendors, the professionals, right? So it's nice to hear advice from parents, perspectives from parents who have done a bar bat mitzvah, but they've done it once. Mike, I'm going to
Yeah.
do personally like 60 bar bat mitzvahs this year. Like,
And
that's more than a whole family's lifetime.
and everybody's level of acceptability is different. And I think that's something that needs to be noted too. Like, to compare it to a car as an example, like there are plenty of people out there who would be more than happy with the brand new Honda Accord, and like that is the ultimate greatest threshold if they were driving the Honda Accord. But then there's plenty of people that's not good enough, and they need the Lexus or the Porsche or the Ferrari and the Rolls Royce. Like all those tiers go up as you work your way up. So you don't know who's giving you advice. Is it the Honda driver or is it the Rolls Royce driver? And I think that's, if you could figure out a way to navigate that and understand who is giving you the advice and are they on the same thought process of you, then I think you could get the right solutions. But social media is a great thing when it comes to looking
I
for
wonder,
advice. Just know where it's coming from.
I wonder if we should have called this podcast using social media for bar and bat mitzvah planning. So let's
Yeah.
try to bring it back to the idea of an inclusive set of vendors versus versus different vendors. Do you think that there is success in hiring different vendors? Let's say that you go from three different vendors, a caterer, a true party planner, and an entertainment service versus a, a photographer, a
I know where you're
videographer.
going with this.
Yeah, like so.
Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts? What advice would you give them?
I have very passionate thoughts about this. I think that you're never going to find one company or one person that is good at everything. And there are venues, as an example, that do everything in house. Book our venue, you get our DJ, you get our dancers, you get our extras, which means photo booths and games. And we have in house photo and video. And I don't believe that can all be great at the same time. I have yet to find a venue or vendor that can do every one of those things great. But I think there are things that relate to each other that fall under the same wheelhouse. We said before a DJ can provide photo booths. Yeah, probably. Why not? And I also believe a photographer can do a great job with photo booths. They fall under the same wheelhouse. There are some DJs that offer photo and video and do an excellent job with it, but they're not cooking your food. So there are definitely areas to stop. Like we've been asked many times, do you guys provide security at parties? Absolutely not. Like that is not a specialty of ours. That's not a division that we want to get into. So we're not the ones driving the bus and taking the kids to the party. Like there's certain things you just need to hire a specialist.
That's right. That's good, Mike. That's good. I think I like that idea of kind of going through these Facebook help pages and kind of pulling apart some of these big time topics. So let's do that again. Next week, I'm taking my winter vacation, but you are going to have another professional on. But maybe the week after that, we'll dive back into this stuff.
Cool. Well, yeah, next week we're going to be talking about videography, things to look out for, what makes video different from cinematography, which are two very different forms of the same art. And we're going to get a really good lesson. I'm pretty excited about that.
Awesome. Well, for Mastering Mitzvahs, that's Mike. I'm Dylan. We're explosive, and we will check you on the flip side. See you.